Let's talk about DIO electronics for a moment. Right now what I've found is this is the flywheel off my bike right here. Okay, and you can tell it's got some little chew marks in it, in the where the crankshaft came through. This is a spare one that I had. And what I did this morning is I looked through all my old parts that I've got stashed everywhere in 3 different places. And I'm trying to consolidate everything, because what are parts any good for if you can't find them? What I would do, and this is a real good school of thought, if you buy a used motor, and usually they're between, I don't know, 200 and 250 bucks. Okay, try and get everything off the bikes. All the parts that these bikes come with cost money. This is your flywheel here. This is your stator. Well, I'm going to call it a stator, for instance. And these were both off an old bike. This is probably 150 bucks. This is, I think, $200 to replace. Once you screw up a stator, unless you are an electronics expert, it's broken. It doesn't work at all. So we're going to talk about cleaning these up and making them work right. What else I found out is this is a 10mm castle nut, which I figured I did do that. I had gone to Honda and bought some parts one time a number of years ago. And I always, like I said, add on a little bit here, a little bit there. This is the nut that fits right on here, like this. I get it to fit. Left-handed. It's a very specific nut. And what I found out when I went to take this off is that I did not have the flywheel on all the way correctly. I either thought it was on, or I spaced it out. I was going too fast. So you want to keep your stator clean. You want to keep your electric eye, that's what I call clean, and you want to keep everything in here clean. Usually only what happens is 2 things. Is you will get either a small leak from your crankshaft, and it puts out a little bit of oil around here. Or what you'll have is, since this is an electronic component, you will have, and I've seen this 100 times, I mean, if you looked at my old gyro videos, you can pull off one of these flywheels and it will have a good 1/16 inch of dust all over it. Well, the stator, or the flywheel, has to spin. It spins around a stationary, or the flywheel spins around a stationary stator. With the magnets on here and the electronic coils, it creates an electrical field. I don't know exactly how it's done, but if you have something like this and you want to take it off, all it takes is two little bolts to take off, and then you could carefully pull it away from your machine. But go and take some really good, this is just a bottle, but it's simply green, but it's blue. Take that and clean everything up that you can. Look for damage. You want to clean this electric eye. You can see that how it's rusted right here. Well, that just impedes the bike from doing its job. So you want to clean that up. You want to clean all the dirt and oil and everything off the line, electric line, so that in 6 months from now, if you go to look and you find some oil on the bottom of this little part right here, the oil seal, then you're going to say, well, something's wrong. Another thing to do is, see, that's good because I have a dirty one right here and I have a clean one right here. Your electric eye hits this timing piece of metal. I mean, okay, it doesn't touch it. but your ignition works off of this. So what you want to do, say like this is an old one right here. I go and I take some sandpaper, clean that up really good. Inside here, look at the damage. It's got a little bit of damage. It's got oil in it, which means that the oil seal right here in the crank had leaked. Now I think I'm going to take this one and try and get it on the bike, on the cotter pin, whatever it is. And of course you need this little tool. You get this on, what is it, eBay for like 15 bucks. They have this one, and then they have another one that has two sides, here and here. One of them is for the DIO, the other side is for a ruckus. So they're really cheap, but they're really helpful in taking these off. So I'm going to clean all this up, and I've got a bunch of tools and things I'm going to put away that I've found, and we'll get back to working on the racing DIO.